Well, how do there? I'm Davy Crockett from Tennessee. Half horse, half alligator, a little touch of the snapping turtle. And that same David Crockett you've heard of that can jump in that creek back there, dive deeper and come up drier than any man alive. My father can lick any man in Kentucky, and I can lick my father. I got the surest rifle, prettiest sister, and the ugliest dog in Tennessee. And ladies, I am a horse. I got a story to tell you about my pet grizzly bear named Death Hug. So I met him right over here across that creek over there. So I'm serving with Andy Jackson in the Creek Indian War. Now I know old Hickory was just a switch and not a tree, and he employs me as a scout and a spy, mostly to hunt for cook fire meat and mostly to spy on the Indians. Well, one day last year in 1813, I crossed that creek over there and happened to spy a whole bunch of blackberries on the vine I was passing by on the trail. Now, I was getting homesick. I was thinking about my wife Polly's blackberry pie. And I laid my gun, old Betsy, down up against a tree, and I began to eat on them blackberries. And pretty soon I forgot what I was doing. It was kind of a dangerous thing to do. Well, heard a low growl behind me, and in between me and my gun here was a 20-foot tall grizzly bear, and that old bear was looking at me like he was going to have me for lunch. Now, friends, I've got no intention of winding up down inside of a bear's belly. Might have to tickle him a long time to come back out. So I figured I'd do the same thing I done to this here raccoon hat. Figured if I showed him my famous Crockett grin, he'd jump out of his fur and I'd take home a bearskin rug. So I folded my arms real good like and looked that critter square in the eye and grinned at him just about like this. I want y'all to know that's the dangest bear I ever seen. He folded his arms and grinned right back at me. Y'all ever seen a bear do that? Well, I hadn't either at that point. I wish I may be shot if I ain't telling you the truth. Me and that old bear stood grinning back and forth like that day for 4 hours. The only thing that saved my life was the sun started setting down behind him. He couldn't see me too well. And he was a big critter too, about as tall as that tree back there. Biggest bear I ever seen in these here parts. Well, the sun started setting down behind him. He couldn't see me too well. So he reached into his vest pocket. Did I tell y'all he was well dressed? Reached into his vest pocket, pulled on his bifocals, took a long, thoughtful look, and said, "Are you David Crockett from Tennessee?" I said, "Well, I sure am." He said, "Well, friend, I've heard of you." And he reached out and gave me a hug. It was almost too close for comfort. That's when I nicknamed that old bear Death Hug. Well, I told him about my wife Polly and my boys up there in Tennessee, and sure enough, after serving 60 days in the Army, I got back up to Tennessee. That old bear was sitting on my front porch in my cabin in my rocking chair reading my Bible. See, my wife Polly converted him. She wasn't no heathen bear in her house. Been my pleasure talking with you, and that is a true story now, and I wish I may be shot if I didn't tell you the truth. Anyway, y'all come back now, yeah?